Until now, we have seen some of the basics in Power BI. Now let us get into some intermediate concepts. We will do a deep dive into Power Query. We will do a deep dive into DAX. We will do a deep dive into dashboarding. If you want to master Power BI, there are three aspects that you have to master. One is Power Query, M language, the transformation part, data transformation. The second one is DAX, data analytics expressions. The third one is storytelling or creating visualizations. A lot of people focus on storytelling, but the real mastering lies in these two aspects. If you are very good at these two aspects, storytelling, it will definitely come to you with experience. Let us take one more case study, slightly complicated case study, and try to practice this. I'll try to introduce more and more measures to you in this case study. Here, as usual, we have to start with understanding the problem statement. The case study is e-commerce product sales analysis. Usually, sales analysis is one such area, product sales or something, where you'll be creating a lot of dashboards to analyze from various points of view. Okay. So here, the problem statement is we have to analyze the sales data and profits data in various scenarios. We have an e-commerce data set given to us. We have to find the hidden patterns that will cause, let's say, in a particular region, there is high sales. In a particular region, there is low sales. Why that happened? That's what we want to know. Analyze the profits and show how profit varies in different segments. Customers from a particular segment are giving higher profit. Customers from a different segment are giving lower profits. What are those segments? We want to highlight them. What are the products that are sold most? What are the products that have generated most revenue? What are the products that have generated most profit? What are the regions where we have generated more sales? So we want to analyze all those hidden patterns and give them in the final dashboard. So that's a problem statement. Have you understood the problem statement? Generating a sales report that will highlight all the insights. The next step is loading the data. I have already given you the data set name. The data is in an Excel file. You can see the data set name. If you go to our class material, in class material, there is a Power BI sessions data. In that, there is a data set e-commerce product sales data version 1.xlsx. E-commerce product sales data version 1.xlsx. That is the one that we want to import. So let us open a fresh Power BI file. Let's open a new report. Go to Power BI, open the Power BI, all of you. You can do it along with me. Let's load the data. So here is my Power BI file. It's taking some time to load. As it is go. This is my Power BI file. Now what I want to do is I want to load the data. The one that I have given is an Excel file. So import from Excel data and then e-commerce product sales version 1.csv or .xlsx. That is a file that I want to import. You have to observe that when you are importing the data, it's not just the sheets that you will get to see. You will also get to see the tables. Usually, it's a good idea to select all the tables rather than the sheets. So these are the sheets and these are the tables. Can you see the difference? These are the tables. Usually in a sheet, there can be multiple tables. That is why we want to get all the tables. 2018, 19, 20 sales. Customer info is in some other table. Customer profile details. Geographical info is another table. Product information is another table. Sales representative information is in some other table. So we want to get all this data and load the data. Okay, let's load the data. Data is loading. Data is loading. It is taking some time for loading. Let it take. Let's wait for loading. Yep, the data got loaded. Now you can see 2018 sales, 19, 20, customer information, geographical information, all that information is there. Let us have a quick look at some of the tables. You can see for sales itself, you have 2018, 2019, 2020 sales, order ID, product ID, location ID, salesperson ID, customer ID, purchase date, quantity, price, column 9, column 10, extra columns are also there. And then you have sales 2018, 2019, 2020. Then customer information, customer ID, customer name, customer age, geographical data, location ID, name, county, and then state, state type, and so on. Product information, sales representative information. This is a typical e-commerce. In fact, if you take a large database, there will be some more tables as well. Payments information will be there. Several other tables will also be there. But here right now we have sales, customer, geographical, product information, and sales representative information. This much information is there. As usual, we have to start with the transformation of the data. Let's go to this product information, and then there is a variable called cost. Okay, let us rename that. This cost is the name of the column. I want to rename it. So first of all, we have to go to transformation of the data. So let's go to the, from here, can we do data transformation or transform data? Click on this. Let us go to transformations. If you want to rename it, you have to go to transformation, isn't it? Already some transformations are applied. So let us go to this product information data, and then cost is something that I would like to rename. Where is the rename option? Rename. Product price is what I want to rename it as. Product price. That is a better column name instead of cost. Renamed columns, rename price, I can say. And then I want to remove some of the columns. I remember that in 2018 sales, 19 sales, 20 sales. I think in 2020 sales, there are some other columns, column 9 and column 10. Remove this column, remove this column, because they are just some null values are there in those two columns, not required. Removed unnecessary columns. Okay. Remaining tables are fine, I guess. There are no issues in those two tables. Okay. All right. And then I have to append the tables. Okay. How do I append the tables? Because 2018, 2019, 2020, all these three belong to the same data. They just have the sales data. Okay. So what I'll do, I have to append these tables. So what I'll do is I'll go to home. First select one of the table, or directly you can go to home. And then there is an option for append queries. Can you see that? Try to explore that. Go to home and look at all the options. Somewhere you have an option called append queries. Can you see that? Append queries. Okay. Append queries. Okay. Two tables or three or more tables. Okay. So what we can do is simply, this is an option. So simply go to home, and then click on append queries instead of selection of the table. Two tables or three or more tables. I'm saying three or more tables. Click on that. So 2018, you want to append it to 2019, 2020. So 2018 is current. Okay, look at this tables to append. Then 2019 below it, 2020 below it. Okay, that's the one that we want to do. Once again, how do I do that? Select any one of the table, click on append queries, and then three or more tables. Current one is already added, and then add 2020, add, and then simply say okay. Once you do that, the query, appended query is here. Okay. Now this 2018 data contains like table.combine. It combined 2019, 2020 with 2018. So what I'll do is I will try to rename this 2018. Okay. I'll try to rename this as, so what I'll do is enable load. Okay. What I'll do is I'll uncheck that. Okay. Because we want to, we have already appended the data here. We have appended all these three tables. Next time, if somebody is loading the table, we don't want to refresh this 2018 sales data. To be on the safe side, it's better to even rename it. This is our full sales data, complete sales data, this one. Okay. So this is our complete sales data. 2019, 2020, you can ignore them. You can also delete them if you don't like to. Okay. So that is the data set, sales data set, which contains 2018, 2019, 2020. Remember, you have to do uncheck that enable load. That means when you reopen this file, Power BI file, or automatically if it refreshes the data, then we will lose 2019, 2020 data. We don't want to enable load. That means we don't want to refresh the data once again when we are opening this. Okay. Now let's go to geographical data. In geographical data, if you see, there is this column called state. Right now, the state is California and state code is CA. What if my business requirement is the state code should contain four letters CALI instead of CA? If I want to create a new state code, what will be the process? Let us see some steps. So first, make a duplicate of this column. When you make a duplicate of this column, you can see the duplicated column. Then convert it to uppercase. How do you transform it to uppercase? Transform uppercase. There are so many options. Everything is button click or drag and drop only, but we need to practice all this to be comfortable with this. And then out of this, I want to take out of California, I want to take only Cali, first four letters. So what you need to do is you need to use split column by number of characters. Split column by number of characters, and from the left side I want to take four characters. Okay. Cali. Okay. Then what I'll do is the second one automatically I will delete this column because I don't want this Cali, and I want to rename this column. Let us rename this column to state code 1 because already one state code is there. State code 1 or state code new. That's the process. Okay. In fact, the complete process that we have followed, whatever you're writing here, this is the code for every action. There is a code that is written. This is known as M language. If you are somebody who is going to work on Power BI day in, day out, it's better to completely master this M language. It will be confusing in the beginning, but later on, while you are creating this, you can look at this and you can make some modifications in that. In fact, without all this, directly we can write M language also. If you go to home, you can see what happens at the back end. If you go to home and click on advanced editor, you can see all that M language that has got generated in the back end. So what did we do? We have split the position, state copy we have taken, and then we have taken the first four letter of that state. Everything is getting created here, starting from importing of the data, what was the data source and what is the name, promoted the headers, change the type, etc., etc. Everything can be seen in the backend. Everything is code. In fact, by giving this code, we can simply create a new table also. You can, this is called a query M language. By giving this code, we can create a new table. Usually when you are working on data sets like this, it's customary or it's a general practice to create a dates table because we may not have all the dates available here. When you are working with Power Query, to work with dates or to put filters as dates, quarters, months, years, if you want to have so many features, maybe your data set may not have all those. And even if it doesn't have, you don't want to create new columns like that. So generally, it's a good idea to create a new table called dates table. So what I have done is I have given you a code file, mquery file, okay, Power BI table code.txt. This is the file, notepad file that I have given you. What does it do? It will create a new table, dates table it will create. It is not really a rule that you must create this table in every project, but a table like this, a dates table with all the date fields in it, month, year, etc., that will be very, very helpful later on in filtering and all that. So what you need to do is copy this code, and then what you need to do is after copying that code, you have to go back to your Power BI, go to Power BI, and then go to this advanced editor, home, advanced editor. Okay. After going here, simply paste it here. Okay. Let's create a new table first, like otherwise it will get uh, printed here. Okay. Cancel this out. Okay. So let us create a new table. So let's go to home, create a new table, click on new source. We are creating a table not from Excel, not from SQL, not from this one. We are creating it from blank query. We are writing M query. So then you must be writing the code here instead of writing it there. Go to advanced editor. Right now it is blank. Control A, Control V. The code that I have given, paste it and then say done. This is a query that will create a table. Now you can give the dates, the data set. Right now it is 2018, 2019, 2020. So let us start from 2018, okay, which is like 01, 01, 2018 to 2020 is our data. So let us put 31st December 2020. That's our data is, okay. And then invoke this table. First year, what is the first start month? I would say 1, okay. You know, 1 means January. Sometimes when you're working with financial data, financial year starts slightly differently in some companies. Okay, so this is the invoked function. You rename the table as dates table. Okay, this is our dates table, and this dates table will be very helpful later on. Okay, it's not a rule that you must create it. We are just creating it to use it somewhere else later on in some of the fields. Okay. If you want to rename any of the columns here, that is also fine. Okay. So if you want to rename right now, it says in this table, you just have the date, what is the year, quarter of the year, and then we can simply say instead of quarter of the year, we can say quarter if you want to rename it. Okay. So let's rename this as quarter. Let's rename it as quarter, and first one that I renamed is quarter. You can see renamed columns. That is the code for it. Okay. Then the next one that I want to rename is, it says month in calendar. Instead of that, I can rename it as month and year. I can say month and year, because this will be later on useful. Like sometimes you want to show data or some of the value sales by month and year. So this column may not be available in the real data set. So from here, we will be bringing that column because everything is context based in Power BI. Okay, it will be useful. Looks like it got stuck. Let us see. Let's wait for it to respond. So let me just modify this code to make this work and then go to the next one. Month and year, that worked. And then quarter and year, let's make it, instead of saying quarter in calendar, quarter and year, again rename it quarter and year. That is it. These are the renamings that I want to do. And there is a good habit, the tables that are very important for you, the tables that you want to work with, it's better to keep them in groups. Okay. The tables that are very important for me are sales table, customer info table, geographical data table, product information table, sales representative information table. Okay. These are the tables that are very important for me, for in fact even the dates table also. So let's group all of them. Okay, make a group, create a new group for them. This is our project data. These are the project data sets. Okay, or projects data. So this is the table, because if you're working with hundreds of tables, or even if you're working with 20 or 30 tables, the tables that are important for you, you want to see them in one group. Okay, not only bringing the data from Excel files or queries, you can also bring the data from external sources. If you have a data set on a website, on the website or on a Wikipedia page, if there is a data that is being published, if you want to get that, there is a way to do that as well. Let's say here the data is California related data. If you want to get the latest California cities population, okay, if you want to get the latest data, how do you do that? You go to, let's say, California cities data, California demographics data is available publicly. What if you want to query that and get the information from there? So what is the process? Let us see that process of getting the data. Let's go to Google and type California demographics data. So this is what I want, California demographics data. The first one itself, california-demographics.com. From there, I want to get the data. Okay. Here there are several data sets. Out of them, the one that I'm interested in is California counties. This is not counties. I want California cities population. Within California, there is Los Angeles, San Diego, St. John's, etc. California cities by population. Let us click on that. Okay, that is the data that I want to get. Okay, here is the data: Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, etc., etc. Okay, you can also get it on zip codes. That will be even safer, because zip code numeric value will be captured everywhere the same way. Here our data is consistent. Our city name in our data set, city name that is given here, almost same. So what I'll do is California cities population. Okay. So this data, I would like to get it into Power BI. How do I do that? Let us see. How do I do that? Let's go to our Power BI, and then you get the data. Where is our Power BI query editor? Yep. So go to new source, get the data from website. From website, we want to import the data. Okay. You just simply paste this. In fact, you can do this in Excel also. Do you know that? You can access the data from a website. You can input into Excel as well. So once you paste it, the table inside that website, all the tables that will be given to you here. Now, here we can see table 1. Let us see what is there in table 1. This is the table that we want: city, population, California, city and population. So we will say, okay, let's import that data. The data is importing. Table 1, it is given as. Then I would say that as California population, rename that as CA population. Why am I doing this? Because I want the latest population data in California, and I want this to be in our group, this group. Okay. Now here there seems to be some errors. Error 1% are errors. Why are this 1% errors? Let us remove the errors. Okay. I'm not interested in any of these errors. Okay. The rest of the data is fine. Like, say there is an error, there is some issue here, there's some issue here. So I'll simply delete that, because the population is also very less over there. So what I'll do is I select this, and then there is an option called remove rows. In remove rows, you have an option for remove errors. If you do not want to do a lot of cleaning and all that, if you want to simply delete those places where there are errors, you can use this option. Because most of my data, 99% of the data is clean. I'm not worried about those places where there are errors. Simply I remove them. Okay. Now what I have to do is this California latest population data, I have to attach it to the geographical data. Because I have the city, if you go to geographical data, you have the county, state, and then you have the name. Name is nothing but I think city name. Is that the one? Yeah. Looks like the name is nothing but the city name. Based on the name, we need to match that. Or is there any other city name? No. Here, name itself means the city name. Look at this. San Diego, San Francisco, etc. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to attach the population data to this geographical data. We want to make this geographical data complete. So take geographical data and then you use this option merge queries. Can you see merge queries? So every table here is called as a query because if from the query you can create this table or the data. So take geographical data, go to home, and then there is an option for merge queries. Earlier you have done append queries. Just near to that you have merge queries option. Okay. Now geographical data, what is the table that you want to join? To this geographical data, I want to join the which one? Which is the table that we have to join? CA population. And what kind of join we want to do? We want to keep all the data from the left hand side table, which is geographical data, and whatever is matching from the right hand side table, which is city population, we want to match it. Okay. And then attach it. Okay. That's what I want to do. Okay. Left outer join will be the join. Okay. That's the join that I want to do. And when you are doing the join, you have to also mention on which field you want to do join. Here, that is a city name, and this is the city name. These are the two fields that I want to join. So for the first time when you are doing this joining, it will ask you to give the permission and all that. You can simply say, yes, give the permission because you're getting the data from website. To be on the safe side, it is asking you to give the permission. Okay. And then press on OK. Okay. Now, if you see here, the full table is like for every row. So what is happening here? The city name has been matched with the city name, and you can see something called table here. When you click on that table, you will see the complete information. Okay. So click on the table. This is the city name and this is the population. Okay. When you click on that particular table, then you will see the complete details. Okay. Then you just close this and go back. When you click on that table, it is opening in this new window. Remove the last step, then go back here. You have this CA population. Click on this button. This is the one that you will expand. Once you expand it, from here, do you really require rank, city, population, everything need to be there? No. Actually, city name is already there in city. This I don't want. Rank also I don't want. I just want the population to be attached. Simply from that table, only population will be attached. Even here, I want to rename this as city name. Instead of this name, I would like to simply say that as rename this as city name. This is city name. Okay. City name and city population is attached. Okay. That's how you attach the data, or left outer join is what we have done. Okay. Let us do some further transformations. We're done with geographical data. Let us go to some sales representative data. Column 1, column 2, the column names. But here salesperson name. I think we have to promote the column names here. So what are the column names? Okay. How do you promote them as column names? Use first row as header. Go to home, use first row as header. Search for that option, and the first row is used as header. Okay. And then what else can we do? Before we proceed further, maybe we will stop at this particular point. Looks like everything else is fairly clean. Depending on the requirement later on, we can do a little bit of more transformations, but don't forget to close and apply. Always do close and apply because we have done several transformations. So once you do close and apply, all these transformations, all these changes that we have done, they will be applied. Okay. There are several other transformations that we may require to do that. We will do them later because we would like to have a look at the data based on that specific transformations we are going to do. As of now, we have done some transformations that are, common. Here is the data. The pending queries are there. Apply changes. Yes, apply changes. Sometimes you are going to get these kind of notifications in Power BI. Not everyone may get this, so you can ignore them, or looking at the message, you can try either apply changes or discard changes, or you can close them. Yeah. Working on it. Then go to the blank worksheet. Okay. This is all. I can simply close this. Now let us go to the next step. After transformations, there is something called data model or handling the relationships. So in the next video, we are going to get into the data model or handling the table relationships. There are several tables, how each table is connected to each other table, that we are going to create a relationship table or data model, it is known as. Let's get in there.